Welcome to New Gameplay Today. I'm Kyle Hilliard here with Charles Hart. What's up, Charles?
Nothing much. It's a nice overcast day in Cincinnati, Ohio.
There you go. So this is Humanity that we're looking at. This is from... I actually don't know how to say the name of the developer. It's THA Limited, but it's published by Enhance. Enhance, I know primarily because of Tetris Effect. Which is a game that I love. And it's a funky puzzle game, Charles. Have you been following this at all?
I remember the reveal trailer and that they dropped a demo the same day, but it was one of those trailers where like it looked cool, but I couldn't really tell what gameplay was like right away.
Yes, yeah. And I'm actually going to... and there was a demo. It was like weird. It was like a limited availability demo. It disappeared after a while. But now we have access again. And what it is you are this dog. You're this little, was it Shiba Inu is how it's pronounced, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get this group of humans that you can see sort of walking and swimming up there to get to this point right here, this glowing box. And it's a puzzle game. And what you have the capability of doing as the dog is directing everybody.
Gotcha.
So first things first here. So all I have, you have different skills. Sometimes you can tell them to jump. There's one instance later in the game where you can actually make them like float more. But here, all I can do is direct them where to walk. And then actually, since if they fall there, they're gonna die. So I'm actually gonna have them swim through the water here. This giant water cube.
Okay, I see. I get it now.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing here, game. You know.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna try to have them go this way, which is kind of a complicated route. But I want to see if I can maybe get them to pick up these gold guys. Like if you get all the, you can solve the puzzle by just getting them to where you want them to go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where. Oh, see, I'm already in bad shape here. I guess I could have them go back through the water. I don't even know if I can. I can't give them any directions in the water.
Well, if they fall, do they get golden guy?
Let's see if that'll work. Oh, so that's enough. So they got one golden guy, and you know what? I'm happy with that.
Is there like a in-game explanation for why any of this is happening?
There is a weird sort of ethereal kind of story that is sort of like you awake on this landscape and it's up to you to save the people. And there's even like if you're worried about, like if I were to do this, right, and they just fall into the abyss and die, like there's even a story beat where it's like, don't worry, like if they fall, they actually just come back through the door later.
Okay.
It's like kind of a weird thing where they sort of take the time to kind of, you know, make sure you don't feel too bad about what's happening, I guess you could say. Let's try to go get this gold guy here. Yeah, and as you can see, we got vents and stuff happening here. And again, all I have is the option to turn. Like, there's some instances where you have, like I said, a jump and things like that. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying
if gold guy dies, is that...
If gold guy dies, then that's he doesn't come back.
Okay.
Right? Like you basically one way you can approach the game is to kind of make sure you have your path all planned out before you even send anyone on the path to make sure you don't like lose any gold guys. And this is another thing, we need to have people walking over this platform in order to turn on fans.
Oh, okay.
See, this one's getting really complicated now.
Can they like cross paths? Like if you were to have one? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Man, I was all ready to have all this like insightful, you know, puzzle game commentary, but something about just watching this like river of people is so mesmerizing.
I know. I like it. Like it's because the puzzle, at least at this stage, isn't crazy difficult.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, I mean, maybe not obviously, but I get the sense that if you play this game enough, right, like you're going to run into some pretty difficult stuff. But I wanted to do one more thing. That was 2 puzzles in Humanity. I wanted to do one more thing, which is show it off in VR a little bit, because you can play the full game in VR. So we'll hop over to that right now. So Charles, this is we're jumping now to some pre-recorded footage I took earlier of playing the game in VR, and it's not like crazy different in VR, right? It's still functionally the same, but it you have trouble getting into the menu, for example. I just was hitting the wrong button there.
Classic
But
VR.
It's honestly the kind of VR experience that I like, in that it really isn't crazy different from like what was already a good game, right? Like I like when VR experiences kind of just, I don't know what the right phrasing here I'm trying to say is. It's like they built a good game and then you just get like a different way to play it in VR.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Like Gran Turismo 7 recently, or Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 4. You know, it's like these games are totally great outside of VR, but they're only like heightened by sort of giving you this like new way to play in this new perspective. And this is kind of one of those for me where it's like it plays the same. It even kind of looks the same. Maybe this footage doesn't even really look that much different, but just the fact that you're sort of there in the headspace and you have control of the camera by being able to look around is cool, and just makes it feel more interesting. And then you can even like get really close into the sort of the little setting, right? Because it feels like you're looking down on this sort of miniature place, I guess you could say.
It gives like I don't know. I don't know what it is about this, but I asked you like lore earlier, and my internal thing was like, oh, this is obviously like an afterlife or something, like something about the lack of. Anyways,
no,
this VR makes it feels very like godlike, of like you are the one looking down and commanding these like tiny people.
Yeah. And I do also like third-person VR as well, which everyone sort of automatically is like thinks, oh, you have to do first-person. But it's like, no, you can do cool stuff in third-person. And this is interesting. I have that loop of people going around to sort of hit the switches.
Yeah.
That the thing that these guys are climbing on right now, like those switches need to be activated to turn those on. And then I'm sending all the people over. See, like here, I'm like kind of like leaning my head in to sort of look at how this thing works and what it looks like.
I do think it's kind of underrated, like the ability of VR to be like, you're playing the same game, you're just kind of like sitting in it, like instead of watching it from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, not to go on a big VR tangent, but like, that's why Resident Evil 4 works so well, because it's such a familiar location and you're seeing it from a new perspective, right? So... But in any case, we're not talking about those games. We're talking about humanity. And I think this is as good a place as any to sort of call it that this is humanity. It comes out on May 16th. It's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. And I like what I've played of it so far. In and outside of VR, I think it's a really clever puzzle game with like just a really cool look to it. Like it's just... I'm not a big fan of games that are like passive, right? Like you sort of... say, hey, activate this and then watch it happen. Normally, I'm not really into that style of game. But this, I think the fact that you're an active participant on the map as the dog, like planting sort of instructions on the map as opposed to like, you know, having a God view and just like clicking things with a mouse. And then the visual aspect of like these humans walking around, it really works for me. I think it's a really cool game.
Yeah. I'm definitely... I was not disinterested before, but now like seeing you actually play it, I feel like I have a better understanding of what it is, and I am also interested.
Yeah, the trailers don't do it justice in terms of explaining what it is, but I think it's also kind of impossible to explain what this game is. You kind of just have to see it played. And any trailers are just going to be like, yeah, there's a giant mass of people, isn't that weird? and you're like, yes, it is weird. You're right. So, yeah, anyway, humanity. Thanks so much for tuning in, Charles. I really appreciate you coming to check it out.
Of course.